Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to, we're going to be talking about CBD. I'm super excited. A few years ago, if you asked me, I really didn't know too much about CBD. And for everyone who doesn't know me on the call, my name is Marlisa. I'm a toxin-free living educator. I have two boys, two little ones, and I started my journey back when I was in my mid 20s. I had chronic issues. I had just a lot of pain, and I went to doctors. I had multiple surgeries and nothing was helping. So I started looking at a lot of the food I was eating, the products I was using, and I kind of started my journey there. And I am just so excited to empower other people, other families, just to make better decisions. We also have Hisan helping us out today. So I'll let her talk a little bit about her.
Hi, ladies. I'm really happy to be here. My name is Hisan Andez. I've been using Young Living for almost 5 years now, and I'm a wellness and business coach. And maybe one thing you might not have known about the Young Living CBD is that we're actually not that well known for CBD in the essential oil industry. But in the CBD community, we're really actually very well known and respected, and we were voted #1 in Hemp Magazine for the best CBD last year for 2020. So that was huge, and I'm really excited to share and listen to all the knowledge that Marlisa is going to be sharing with us today.
Thank you. Well, I'm so excited to talk about how a plant can impact your body in a positive way. We're going to dispel myths, we're going to knock down fears, and we're going to answer a couple questions on how this incredible plant oil affects the human body. And we'll do it with science, research, and facts, because that's the best way to go. So we're going to be training on Nature's Ultra, which is a CBD infused with Young Living essential oil. And I believe that this is the best CBD on the market because of the unparalleled purity of how it's grown under sea to seal and how it's delivered to your cells using the tiny molecules of essential oils as a delivery system. So we're going to jump right into the class. And here's a little teaser. I will share. Those fun animated videos. All right. Uh-oh. Okay. So what is CBD used for? And I know for me, I always thought, like, a lot of people think they have THC in it or it makes you high. But the simpler answer to what CBD is not used for, it's pretty much a miracle worker. So right now there are significant studies on CBD for dozens and dozens of things, from resting to stress to so much more. So if you think it may be for you, I encourage you to do some research. I always, no matter what we share, I always say, do your own research. So simply type in what you're looking for and then the word CBD in Google to check out the latest science. The study of CBD is so new that studies are always being released by the week that we've never even seen before. So perhaps the best place to start is going to be with some testimonies. I know we have some testimonies right on the call too.
I use the muscle and joint balm daily. I shoot with a giant camera most of the time, and it's a lot of work holding that camera all the time, and I've noticed that it really helps my fingers feel a little bit less tired at the end of the day. I use the calm roller every night before bed. I roll it on my wrists and on my chest, and I just love the way that it smells. That the smell signals to me also that it's bedtime. It's become such a part of my routine that I think when I smell that, it's time to go to bed. And I know that it just makes me feel a little bit more relaxed and more focused at falling asleep. Being able to see Nature's Ultra's lab reports has been a huge difference maker for me. Being able to have confidence in what they're giving me feels good. Knowing that they are fully transparent in what they're providing to their consumers is huge. It shows me that they're not putting anything in these products that they're not comfortable with, that I wouldn't be comfortable with. They're just being open about what they're providing, and that makes me feel very confident in trying and using their products. I love using Nature's Ultra CBD and seeing the changes that it's made in my life, and knowing that there's other moms and other people that are maybe experiencing some of those same things. Being able to share this product with them has really made me feel great. Being able to pass on these benefits, knowing that I'm supporting a company that's transparent, that lets me see what they're doing. I can believe in that company and I can share that with others, and feel confident in knowing that it's a good product.
Okay, so I know if you want to share some other testimonies, I know Hisan has some, and we just talked with Julie, so we know Julie has a ton to share too.
The CBD dropper, the orange one, I find that it's very soothing for, supporting emotions. Do you guys hear feedback, or are you guys okay? You're okay? The orange dropper, what I do is I like to take half a dropper, so once a day, and Marlisa taught me that using it for at least 2 months every day is how you're gonna really see the results. So I just take it right under the tongue sublingually, and that's actually not considered oral, right? Because it goes into the bloodstream, so it's not really going through the digestive system. So it's not considered ingesting, is what I'm saying. But it goes right into the bloodstream, and to me, like the citrus CBD is very soothing for emotional support, and that's what I use it for, and it's really effective. Love it.
Thank you for sharing. Julie, I know we talked earlier, but for anyone that hops on after, do you want to share?
I can.
Thanks.
I use the muscle balm on my knees a lot. And it makes my workday go much better. I mean, that's just my routine in the morning. I put it on.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
And my favorite way, so I do both, which I'll tell you, like way long before I use Young Living, I was using other CBD products and taking them sublingual, and they are disgusting. I mean, I couldn't even do it when I used to have a lot of pain. So people always give me like CBD products, like try this, and I would be like, oh, it's disgusting. But I'll tell you, this citrus is, when I had this, I was like, wow, like it's so smooth. It's not thick like other ones I've had, and I mean, it tastes so much better and also helps. But my favorite, if I have to pick one, would be the joint and muscle balm for my knees, because I don't have cartilage. So it helps instantly with anything. And also if you got headaches, just really good on the temples. I put some on right before this call. So I think if I had to pick, that would be my favorite. Marissa, have you tried any of the CBD? I don't think you have, but.
No, I haven't had the opportunity just yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list for sure.
Yeah, Young Living has so much. Sometimes we forget that we have the most amazing CBD as well. It's like, you know, sometimes it's overwhelming how much stuff we have.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay, let's see. Doesn't want me to go to the next page. All right, there we go. Don't worry, I wasn't going to make you watch the same video twice. Okay. So, and I will say I have family members, if they're in law enforcement, or, you know, like, oh my, like we can't have CBD, they can't take it. So we're just going to deal with the elephant in the room right now at the start of the class. The hemp plant is a cousin to the marijuana plant. It's like if you got sweet corn versus field corn. So hemp is the parent plant and cannabis is the scientific name for that plant. So both hemp and marijuana contain cannabinol or CBD. The marijuana plant was hybridized to produce more than 40 times the amount of THC, which is the chemical response that makes you high. Hemp has a very low amount of THC. In fact, for CBD to be legal, it must have less than 0.3% of THC. Young Living CBD has 0.00% THC. That means members of the military and the police, or anyone that takes a drug test for work, can take it and completely pass drug tests because there's absolutely no THC in our CBD. So why are we scared of CBD? We've been trained to be scared of it because of the legal climate in the US. The legal issues with hemp started with the Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 that taxed cannabis. It has nothing to do with hemp being dangerous and everything to do with politics. So let's take a dive more into the history. I don't think the video is playing. Sorry, guys. I love technology and hate it at the same time. Let's see if this plays. There we go.
CBD may be getting mainstream attention for the first time, but it doesn't mean that it's completely new. In fact, CBD has a long, fascinating history. The first documented use of medicine derived from cannabis dates all the way back to 2737 BC. But while the cannabis plant has been around for a long time, the recognition that it's comprised of unique compounds called cannabinoids is much more recent. During the rise of modern medicine, cannabis was largely unrecognized by the medical community due to the lack of scientific evidence of how it worked, or even if it worked at all. In 1839, however, an Irish physician and medical researcher named William O'Shaughnessy published a study exploring the effects of cannabis. He also described the possible medical applications, of which helped set the stage for future research. In 1940, chemist Robert Kahn identified the structure of cannabis plant in an individual cannabinol, CBN. Then, in 1942, American chemist Roger Adams and his colleagues successfully isolated a cannabinoid for the first time, cannabidiol, CBD. 2 years later, tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, was isolated for the first time. You will likely recognize THC as the psychoactive compound of the plant that causes euphoric effects. That's going to be important later, so keep that in mind. Once scientists understood that there were multiple cannabinoids and were able to isolate them, research into how individual cannabinoids work began. In 1946, Dr. Walter S. Lowe conducted tests using cannabis on lab animals. We know that THC caused psychoactive effects on the animals, while CBD did not. In 1963, Dr. Raphael McCoolum took this research a step further and discovered the stereochemistry of CBD followed by the stereochemistry of THC 1 year later. This revealed a direct relationship between THC and the euphoric effects associated with cannabis and distanced CBD from the mind-altering compound. Unfortunately, stigma surrounding the cannabis plant due to the psychoactive euphoric effects often caused by THC led to restrictions on availability of cannabis, even for academic purposes. It became very difficult to do research on cannabis because possessing it, even for academic purposes, was prohibited. For many years, scientific research on cannabis, and thus CBD, was held back. While cannabis research may have been hindered by stigma, it wouldn't be defeated by it. In 1978, New Mexico became the first state to pass legislation allowing the medical use of cannabis in some form. They did so through the Controlled Substance Therapeutic Research Act, which allowed the use of cannabis through a research program approved by the Food and Drug Administration. In 1996, California became the first state to legalize medical marijuana with the passing of Proposition 215. Many other states soon followed suit. With the legalization of medical marijuana came legal access to cannabis, and that allowed researchers to dive deeper into the study of CBD. Let's jump ahead to the current state of CBD. The 2014 Farm Bill laid the groundwork for the legalization of cultivating hemp and its products, such as CBD, and in 2018, it was expanded upon. According to the 2018 Farm Bill, hemp that contains less than 0.3% THC is legal to cultivate, and products that are derived from it and also contain less than 0.3% THC are legal to sell. This means CBD is federally legal as long as it is hemp-derived and contains 0.3% THC or less. With the widespread legalization of hemp-derived CBD has come renewed interest in it, and CBD oil is now one of the most popular products in the health and wellness industry. At Nature's Ultra, we're strongly committed to creating high-quality CBD products that fully comply with regulations. We have a partner farm in Colorado where we use organic and sustainable farming practices to cultivate the best possible hemp plants. Our quality assurance system tests to ensure that all of our products contain non-traceable amounts of THC, and we publish our lab results so you can be completely confident that your product contains no traceable amounts of THC and is federally legal. That leads us to our final point, CBD's future. Because CBD is widely available now, more and more research is being done. That research will likely lead to more recognition of how CBD can help with people's health and lifestyles. We're confident that for many years to come, CBD will not just be a popular supplement, but one that offers a multitude of benefits for a wide range of people.
Did anyone learn anything from that video? You can unmute or even put it in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes me nervous that the pharmaceutical companies will try to take it away from the people.
We'll touch on it a little more, but I think it is so key. And I've looked at a couple other CBD companies, but the CBD, the process, the sourcing, how it's grown is so important.
Yeah, and I think the reason why Young Living actually linked arms with Nature's Ultra, and they made it completely like THC free, is to keep it out of the hands of pharmaceutical companies, because they can't take it away from us because there's no THC in it.
Yep. Yeah, and that's, I mean, we'll talk about that more about why we're so different than some of the other, like all the other companies out there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Okay. So hemp is not a drug. Hemp is actually a plant that produces phytocannabinoids, which naturally enhance the body's endocannabinoid system. Much like essential oils do not cure disease, but they do aid the body's natural immune system by doing behind the scenes things like helping with the cellular communication. So when your soldiers are reinforced, they can do the fighting on their own. Science on the endocannabinoid system is just emerging, and we learn more and more every year. The whole endocannabinoid system was not even discovered until the 1990s. 30 years after hemp was banned. Hemp could not even be studied in universities because it was grouped with all cannabis species as a Schedule I drug in the Controlled Substance Act of 1970. That equates it to cocaine. So as you can imagine, no one was taking a look at it. But if you fast forward to 2014, the US government passed a pilot program through the Farm Bill that would allow hemp to be grown and studied. The permanent language in the Hemp Farming Act of 2018, which falls under the Farm Bill, changed the status of hemp from a Controlled I substance to a commodity like corn, soybeans, and tobacco. That will have far-reaching effects on American farmers, and it should dispel the myths linking marijuana to hemp. Many authorities predict that the hemp industry will grow by 700%, and hemp will be grown in the Midwest as much as corn. Most Americans within the next 5 years will have at least tried one CBD product, and a high percentage will begin to use it on a regular basis, like they now use a multivitamin or a supplement to promote health. And by being in this class, you are part of a revolution by taking the fear out of a plant that the Lord created and intended for our use. So I know personally that CBD has grown, even I want to say in the past 2 years, I've seen so many people more talking about CBD, so I can totally see it growing even more drastic, and other companies, coming out with IPOs and becoming public, and just the hemp industry overall.
Yeah, it's helping so many people, like with so many different issues, and even including like, supporting them through addictions and things. So if they're addicted to something else, it supports them to get out of that situation. And it's just very, very helpful for everything. And CBD in general, when it enters your body, because we have the receptors all over our body, even in our brain and in our skin, whatever issue you have, its job in, as a plant, its job basically is to help the plant reach homeostasis, which is like perfect health and balance and temperature and wellness. And so when it comes into our body, it does the same thing. So whatever issues you have, like temperature control or emotional stuff going on or physical stuff going on, its goal, like when it comes into our body, is also to help us to reach homeostasis.
Absolutely. And that's a perfect segue onto the next topic. So the body is ready for CBD. That's your history lesson for this class. So let's do a little bit of anatomy. The human body is ready for CBD. God, and just as Hisan mentioned, God built receptors in our endocannabinoid system to accept CBD. Those receptors circulate throughout our entire body. They're even found in our white blood cells. You can almost think of the endocannabinoid system like a hormonal system. So any women will tell you, and we're all women on this call, so we definitely know that hormones affect not only how we feel, but also our moods, our complexion, our energy levels, our digestion, you name it. So the ECS affects the entire body and is a major contributor to overall balance. That's why sometimes you may use CBD for one thing, but you find that it works on other things that you never anticipated, because the endocannabinoid system is throughout our entire body. Has that ever happened to anyone? Where you were like, oh, I'm going to take it for this, and then you realize it's good for something else?
Oh yeah, all the time.
I feel like it happens with a lot of things.
Yeah, essential oils too.
Yeah.
That was, I loved your description just now.
Thank you. So why use CBD over other products? And pretty much because it's a plant. It's a non-surgical, drug-free approach to medicine. Dr. Mark Lindholm, who has practiced as a chiropractor for 25 years, says, and in quotes, I believe patients should seek natural remedies first, drugs as a second approach, and surgeries as a last resort. Sometimes medication is necessary, but the general public is starting to understand that every drug has side effects. So the fewer drugs you take, the better off you are. I always believe in exploring other avenues. I have been using and recommending supplements to my patients for more than 2 decades, and I've seen some incredible results, but nothing compared to the astounding results I began to see after my patients started taking CBD. It was life-changing for many of them. Some noticed results after a week. Most patients experienced the maximum benefit after 2 or 3 months. I'd often recommend the product for one problem, only to find they would notice improvements in their overall health too. In other words, they experience side benefits instead of side effects, end quote. So that's pretty amazing, because we've all of us, I know, have dealt with Western medicine. We've all gone to the doctor, and they tend to treat symptoms instead of kind of root cause. And I know for me personally, the issues that I've had, I've always, like, sometimes they gave me the list, but the side effects and like the long term, like one of the drugs the doctors wanted to put me on was called Lupron, and people take it for prostate cancer. It puts you in menopause, and I was 25. I was like, that doesn't sound like a good option to me. I was like, I don't know about that. And it only suppressed like my symptoms. It didn't actually solve anything. So when I stopped taking it, everything would come right back. So, I love that we just have this option. I love sharing with people that, plants and herbs and oils, anything natural can help us too, and always opt to use it first. It's, I'm not saying never go to the doctor or they're terrible, or, there's always a time and place, but always opt for something first. And, if it's not helping, or you don't, think you're seeing either someone else or yourself get worse, and you're out of options, then sure, go to it as a next resort, but you don't always have to go to it as a first.
Yeah, absolutely. The natural remedies kind of option or this CBD, especially the Young Living CBD, in an analogy, reminds me of like using a smartphone versus like using a flip phone.
You don't like the flip phones?
Or remember those first like cell phones we got, the really heavy Motorola ones? That's like before you were born, probably. We used to have these heavy Motorola like cell phones, and you would be on it for like 5 minutes, and they would charge you like $1,000 for 5 minutes, and it was really funny. And this was in the Stone Ages, Marlisa.
I had my first cell phone like when they started coming out. I was 14, and I had the motor because my uncle sold cell phones, and the phone was probably like this big, right? And it had the antenna that lit up, but I thought it was cool because like it had all these colors on it, and I would like try to sneak in the hallway to call him to tell him to come pick me up from school.
Yeah. So that's regular medicine, right? And then the CBD is like our smartphones now.
Okay, so how safe is CBD? So as I mentioned, we're going to talk about facts. So a June 2017 literature review looked at 74 total studies on the safety of CBD and gave promising results. The biggest side effects noticed were drowsiness and slight changes in appetite and weight. That sounds a lot better than the side effects I've seen for some of the other medications that I've been offered. So
like internal bleeding and
death, internal bleeding. Yeah, it's like a long list, and they say it really fast in the commercials. They'll like name it,
They say it while someone's like strolling down the beach too. They're like, "Oh yeah, you might internally bleed and die, but
yeah,
it'll be okay. You won't have allergies though."
Yeah, you'll just get something worse, like 10 times worse. So we covered it, but again, will I get high? Will I become a stoner? No, CBD is not the same as marijuana. There's no THC at all, 0.00% in Young Living CBD. In November 2017, the World Health Organization published a report on CBD at a meeting held by their expert committee on drug dependence. Guys, this is so cool. The World Health Organization keeps an eye on more than 3 billion people around the earth. And in all that documentation, the committee claimed that there had not even been a single case globally of physical dependence or withdrawal symptoms from CBD, nor any reported cases of abuse or public health problems related to the use of CBD. I mean, not even one. So hemp has passed the test of time. Some of the earliest written evidence of its medicinal use comes from ancient China, where it was administered to the emperor in 2737 BC. 77 AD, there are records of the Romans using it as medicine. It was popular in the Middle East and India, where it was considered sacred and used for centuries, just like a lot of other oils. So this, along with contemporary research, adds to the safety of hemp. So just in case it's not clear, can I get addicted or overdose? Current Drug Safety is a reputable journal with articles published on dozens of scientific sites like PubMed.com. It's used by doctors and researchers around the globe. They published a report that proved CBD to be non-toxic. According to the article, even doses up to 1,500 milligrams a day, which is about 90 times the amount a doctor would ever recommend, were well tolerated in humans. Now, we don't recommend that you take 90 times the dose of anything, but in a sensible statement that the body will take what it wants and flush the rest out. The reason CBD doesn't cause a high is because it interacts differently with the receptors in your brain than THC does. THC attaches itself to these receptors known as CB1 and CB2 receptors. So when you consume THC, you may experience physical changes, such as those in coordination, mental changes, and also with your mood. You can't have those types of reaction with non-THC CBD because the chemical responsible for mind-altering reactions is not present. So any questions so far?
So interesting. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge.
Of course. So who made the plants? So if you're still concerned, even after looking at the World Health Organization, doctors' testimonies, a reputable journal, and science, well, you're not alone. It's because of how we've been programmed to understand this type of plant. So let me put CBD this way. Are you afraid to use CBD, but not peppermint or oregano, which also have no THC? This is what I would say. Who made the plants? Who gets the credit? So, and as you can see here, Revelation 22:2, the leaves of the plants are for the healing of the nations. Do not fear the plants. The constituents in peppermint cool you off. The constituents in CBD affect change in the body. So how much do I take and when? So we're going to shift gears a little bit, and there's really no easy answer. And this goes with not even CBD, but any of the Young Living products. I get asked all the time, how much should I take of this? Or how much of this oil? Everyone is different. There's so many factors that go into it. It could be your weight, your height, your diet, your metabolism, your genetics, your environment, lifestyle, all affect optimal CBD dose. So there's no universal dose. Young Living comes with a dropper, or one of them does, this one. So experts recommend that you start with a half dropper twice a day, and you want to separate them by a 12-hour span to achieve a 24-hour saturation in the body. So you're continually having it in your body. So usually in the morning and then again at night. So CBD needs to build in the body. So you may need to take it for several weeks before you see any type of shift. With the muscle rub, which is this one, you're going to want to take this one, apply it topically. And then the roll on, which is here, you can apply it to the chest, you can apply it to the back of your neck, you can do it on your feet, on your temples. This one smells really good. So they're all a little different. So this part's my favorite. We're getting into like my favorite topic, but what makes Young Living different? So we have Smart Spectrum CBD. It has never been done before. There's no comparison, no other company that does it. The CBD world speaks in terms, you'll see broad spectrum. What broad spectrum is it's the entire plant, which is considered better. But isolates, which is what we use, it uses just part of the plant. So we decided to do things a little differently. So to give you the short answer, here are 3 reasons that Young Living's CBD is pretty amazing. So 1, broad spectrum versus isolate. We do neither. We went instead with a 3rd route called Smart Spectrum. So you see, you can't adhere to C2steel, which is our standard of purity, if you use the entire plant. You also can't guarantee that it's 100% THC free. And that wasn't good enough for founder Gary Young. So we introduced something totally different called Smart Spectrum. So we're going to break it down in a moment. But the 2 other reasons Young Living is better is C2Seal. So it's how we source our plants. They're grown with no fertilizers, no pesticides, no sulfur, no irradiation, no dyes, no heavy metals like lead, arson, mercury, or cadmium, which is found in soil. And even like some of the products I use that are within food, they're organic, they're really great companies, but they still have heavy metals in the soil. And then our 3rd reason is our terpenes. Our terpenes in our oil. So, terpenes. Terpenes carry the CBD constituents to our cells. So they piggyback on the oil and they get delivered to our cells. Like Ningxia, they ride on the oils to get to the cells. Terpenes are why other CBD makers use the entire plant. They need the terpenes in CBD to deliver the constituents to the cells to make the CBD bioavailable. So we skip using the entire plant and its THC and particulates that we don't want because our essential oils contain the terpenes. So we're going to dive a little deep into what exactly the Smart Spectrum truly is.
Let's start by going over the different types of CBD. First, there's full spectrum CBD, which is extracted from the cannabis plant with all of the plant's other compounds, including THC. Next, there's broad spectrum CBD, which is extracted with all the plant's compounds except for THC. But many broad spectrum products contain it in small amounts. Then there's CBD isolate, which is exactly what it sounds like, CBD that is isolated from all other compounds in the plant. At Nature's Ultra, we use CBD isolate because it's the most pure form of CBD. That gives us the confidence of knowing that there are no unknown compounds in it. It's simply pure CBD, straight from our partner farm in Colorado. Using a CBD isolate is a great way to ensure that our CBD is pure and potent, but it also means that you could miss out on potential benefits of terpenes. Fortunately, high quality, safe, and effective terpenes can be added back using essential oils. That's why at Nature's Ultra, we craft our own Smart Spectrum CBD products by taking high quality CBD oil and combining it with Young Living essential oils. That means that you can enjoy the benefits of both. Many people are already familiar with essential oils, but let's do a quick refresher. Essential oils are natural oils that are distilled from plants, including trees, roots, leaves, seeds, fruits, and flowers. Part of what makes essential oils great is a group of natural compounds called terpenes. Terpenes are naturally occurring hydrocarbons that are the most common source of aromas and flavors in essential oils. In fact, if a plant has a distinct smell or flavor, it's probably because it has terpene. Essential oils and CBD make great partners because they complement each other so well. The terpenes in the essential oils have their own unique benefits, such as offering an energizing aroma helping to soothe tired muscles and promoting a good night's sleep. By combining essential oils and CBD, you go beyond the benefits of CBD and essential oils on their own to create something truly special. And best of all, by adding terpenes from Young Living essential oils to our CBD products, we are able to provide a premium product with no unknown ingredients. We know that every single component of our product has been carefully vetted to ensure it's of the best possible quality. There's no other CBD oil like it in the world.
Isn't that awesome? I found that so interesting when I learned about it.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Okay, so this is my next favorite slide. Where'd it go? Okay. So I always share with everyone as far as, you know, what USDA organic is, okay? And this was my hardest thing before I understood anything about Young Living. I'm like, well, Young Living doesn't have the organic, like there's no USDA seal. So if, you know, you say you're better, but why don't you have a seal? You know, it took me a really long time to fully understand it, but there are 7 reasons why Young Living is better than the organic standard. So let's go through it. So USDA organic, 5%. So 90, if you see a seal, and this goes with a lot of things, up to 90, well, it has to be 95% has to be organic. So there's that 5% of non-organic material that is allowed. Young Living is like, I'm not going to put this on our product because we are better than that. We don't use any pesticides or any chemicals. Nothing is allowed in our product. So USDA organic, 3 years of growing before organic standard is met. Young Living's farms, the soil has to be chemical free for at least 50 years. I mean, that's truly amazing. That's why there's products out there, like with food especially. I mean, anything. Obviously plants come from the soil, but that we eat, and there's things already in the ground from years prior. Glyphosate, heavy metals, I mean, tons of stuff. So that's so awesome. Like 50 years is great. And then back to the second point. So not only 3 years of growing before organic standard is met, but 5 to 7 years after spraying has ceased, you can then call a field organic. May use approved synthetics for pesticides. With Young Living, all pest control is with essential oils. That's amazing. USDA organic, only soil testing is required. With Young Living, the water, the soil, and the air. The air. I don't know any other company that tests the air, but they're all tested. With USDA organic, may use conventional seeds that are non-GMO. With Young Living, uses heirloom seeds. No conventionally grown seeds are allowed. Or USDA organic, approval board can be staffed by volunteers. That's a little scary. With Young Living, 50+ trained scientists are on staff for testing. USDA organic, no third-party testing required. With Young Living, third-party testing on every single batch. So I just think that's an awesome slide.
I love the air testing because especially with the cannabis plant, or if you want to call it the hemp plant, it absorbs everything in the air. It like vacuums all everything. So it's awesome that they do the air testing, and I know that's why they don't use the whole plant, because then you get all the bacteria too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And what's so amazing is that everything Young Living, you know, everything that we do is held to that C to seal standard. All of our oils, our supplements, kids and baby products, personal care products like shampoo, toothpaste, skincare, makeup, cleaning supplies. I mean, there's so many different areas that Young Living is in that it's great. There's no greenwashing, and I teach, you know, about toxin-free living every single day. There's so many companies out there that greenwash, and it's so sad because people fall for it. They truly are trying to better themselves and their family, and they turn over a product and it says all natural, but it's such a completely greenwashed company. So when Young Living tells you it's a clean, safe product for your entire family. You can really take that to the bank. Purity is really what we're And, you know, one more thing is that Young Living is very transparent. You can hop in your car, you can visit the farms. Hisan's been to the farms. I have not yet because of COVID, but I can't wait. Did I cut out? Let's see.
Just a little. You came back though.
Okay, good. So
Yeah.
I mentioned Hisan went to a farm. Julie, have you ever been to one of the farms?
Yeah, the animal conference that I went to was at the Mona Farm. And then when I went to convention the following year, I went back to Mona Farm. They're awesome.
Yeah, the Mona Farm is beautiful.
I love the
I want to
horses.
do like a tour. Yeah, the horses are so gorgeous.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah. I want to do like a tour around the world, like, and visit all their farms.
Yeah, I got to get a passport before I can do that.
Like, especially, I really want to go to the Northern Lights one, the Northern Lights Farm.
I've heard that that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I
British
heard that
Columbia.
from, one of the animal gals that have a Facebook page too. I can't think of her name.
Wow, it's amazing.
They went up, they went up there and thoroughly enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, it's the only company that actually ever invited me to come look at what they do. Like, I've never had a company whose product I use that said, hey, come check out how we grow things and how we distill things and how we test things. Like, this is so new to me that the company actually lets me do this. So it's really amazing.
It is. I can't wait. I want to go to all the farms, but I have to also renew my passport.
Oh, but you get to renew yours. I have to actually get one.
You've never had one?
No, I got one for my daughter when she was a senior in high school. She went to France and a few other countries over there, but I have not been anywhere. Well, I take it back. I've been to Mexico and I've been to Canada, but that was before we needed passports.
Well, I can't even imagine what that world must have been like. It's been pretty awesome.
Pretty much.
Well, I know you both have been to the farms, but for everyone that hasn't, we'll take a look at the farm. We'll imagine we're there.
Here we are on our farm in Colorado. We chose Colorado for our farm because Colorado has such a high elevation. There are no pesticides required. And that also ensures that your product doesn't have any pesticides. And we also chose Colorado because they are leading the way when it comes to regulation. We want to make sure that we're partnering with states that are committed to growing this industry, and Colorado is definitely at the top of that list. One of my favorite things about Colorado is our entire hemp farm is naturally grown in the sunlight. We want to be a part of the ecosystem, so it's another reason we don't use any pesticides. There are, bees and other bugs around here that actually don't harm the plant at all, and they just live here. So it's really important to us, whether it's sunlight, the well water, the soil, everything's got to be dialed in to meet our requirement. We use organic farming practices, and we do that on purpose because the USDA has not come into the space and said that this crop can be certified organic. We're in essence complying with everything that would be required by the USDA to make our crop as organic as possible. So when they do release that certification, it's available to us immediately. And part of that for us is rotating the crop. So we'll actually put a different crop on the field in between the two harvest seasons. And that way the crop is able to pull out some of that toxins and other stuff in the dirt. It helps purify the dirt before the next rotation of hemp plants are born. There are several wells all throughout our farm here. And these wells are really important because you
Look
want
at
to know
those
the source of
sunglasses.
your water, because the quality of that water will dictate the quality of your plant. This is obviously something that the plants are getting on a consistent basis. If that water source is not up to the quality standards, your plant will not meet the quality standards. So all of our well water is tested and certified before we use it. After the harvest is done, the soil is still have some treatments left. And what we do is actually go back through the field and mulch the leftover stalks and any leftover hemp plant and mulch it back into the dirt. And this helps the soil get all the nutrients naturally from what's either grown and other plants that are still in there, and mixes all back up. And then you're left with a nice clean field. Everything that is in essence recycled back into it. And again, all plays back to quality. We don't go through all these efforts for no reason. We want to make sure that the moment it's planted and the seed is in the ground, that it's got the best opportunity to be the fullest plant possible.
I love that they chose to link arms with Nature's Alta's farm, because their farm is like in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so high up where the air is really, really pure. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, Young Living, like you just blow me away.
I know. We don't talk about it much, but we have some of the best labs in the world at Young Living. I feel like it's never talked about enough, but we have equipment that no other oils company has. We have the largest oils library in the world with documented uses of oils that date back over 30 years. We gather that library by doing research on oils, on six different constituents. That way, the way that we test is unmatched globally. So we're going to take you deeper into corporate headquarters, right onto the research labs with the head of our testing department, Dr. Mike Butch. Here he is. This is Dr. Mike Butch, guys. Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Book, and I'm the Chief Science Officer here at Young Living. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about our new CBD line, known as Nature's Ultra. So here we are in the quality control laboratories at Young Living, and I wanted to show you a few of the tests that we actually use to ensure that you're getting the best CBD products possible. This is an instrument called an ultra-high performance liquid chromatograph. And we use these instruments to measure the amount of CBD in every product to make sure you're really getting your money's worth. We also use instruments like these to make sure that you're actually getting 0% THC. Now down here is another suite of instruments that we call gas chromatographs. We can measure thousands of different impurities with these instruments. They're extremely sensitive and very accurate. Now, speaking of impurities, another thing that we always want to check for are heavy metals, which come from the soil and go into the plants. Bad heavy metals, things like lead and mercury. This is an instrument called an inductively coupled plasma mass spectrometer, and it can find heavy metals down to the part per billion level. It's extremely sensitive, and this is the way that we can make sure that your products are as clean as they could possibly be. Now, finally, let me walk you over here and show you something that most people never get to see. This is our state-of-the-art microbiology laboratory. And of course, we have microbiologists working in here all the time to ensure that our products don't contain any nasty bacteria or yeasts or mold. So we test each and every product thoroughly for microbes. This is just some of the things that we do to ensure that you're getting the absolute best CBD products from Nature's Ultra and Young Living.
Okay. So for everyone who's going to watch the replay, Young Living is making some changes in the next month. So whoever shared this video with you, you can talk with them. And, you know, where do I start if I don't have CBD? So if you're ready to get the goodness right into your hands, it's time to talk about a starter kit that will show up right at your front door. There's 2 kits you can start from, and the only difference between them is that they have the regular strength kit and then the extra strength kit. So I normally recommend to people that they start with the regular strength starter kit and then add the extra strength starter kit to their next month essential rewards order for month 2 as you work up to it. For me personally, I have really high tolerance. I started with the extra strength, so that's the one I got. But you begin with a half dropper twice a day. So this one, and in the starter kit, as of right now for the next month, because things will change, but you will do a half dropper twice a day until you're at full droppers by month end. And the starter kit will come with 3 products: a muscle rub for achy joints, the citrus dropper of CBD, and then the Calm CBD roll-on. The best way to get CBD is with a Young Living starter kit to save at a wholesale discount, and then you order it on your loyalty rewards monthly to save an extra 10% on top of your lifetime 24% wholesale discount. So there's no yearly fee, there's no strings attached, and we'll take a little closer at the 3 products that come in this kit. So here's the first one, the dropper. So this dropper, we're going to start with this one, is the most powerful CBD product in the kit. You'll notice that when you go to reorder the CBD dropper, that this one comes in 3 different flavors. So it comes with citrus, but you also have options of cinnamon and cool mint. If you don't get the results that you're looking for after a month, try switching to a different flavor. Each oil has, they work differently with the human body. So because even though it's pre-selected in the kit with citrus, but because and the citrus is definitely one of my favorites, you can always switch it to see what works best for you. You apply 1 dropper to any desired area. The second one is the Calm. So this one has one of the most amazing reviews I've seen on it. It's the CBD Calm. It helps you create a peaceful environment, just helps you relax, to quiet your mind, unwind. You can use it before bedtime. And it's also infused with all the powerful oils for resting. It has frankincense, lavender, orange, ylang ylang, vetiver. I love to roll this on the back of my neck, across my hairline, across my forehead, on my chest. You can also just rub it in your hands too. It does smell so good. So just roll in your hands, kind of rub it together. Take a deep breath, breathe it in. I can really smell the vetiver. And then this one's probably my favorite. So this is my buddy, my CBD muscle rub right here. So muscles like to hold grudges in our body. So whether you spent the day at the gym, hiking, maybe you're moving, lifting kids all day, it's going to take something fierce for your body to forgive you. A lot of husbands love this product. A lot of men, I always hear reviews, it's a top favorite of theirs. So CBD muscle rub from Nature's Ultra takes the hot and cold sensation of the methanol and gives you a boost by infusing it with an array of all natural Young Living essential oils. This one has camphor, clove, helichrysum, lemon, peppermint, tea tree, wintergreen. I think those are the top ones. There's also vitamin E. So all these ingredients work together to soothe your hardworking body. You just apply it. You just open it up. You just take a little bit. You apply it to a clean area. Just rub it in and just massage it in. So Hisan, do you want to add anything?
No, you covered it. You covered it all. I love the muscle balm, and you're right. Like men love it.
Mm-hmm.
Men love it.
These are all you.
Yeah. So the beauty boost is one dropper full of it. This is a new product. So CBD being used in skincare in the modern day seems like really radical, but it's been used for skincare since like ancient times. And a full dropper of this beauty boost is like 50 roses or something like that. Like a lot of rose oil goes into this dropper. And so there's no THC, obviously, and the main ingredients are grapeseed oil, cannabidiol, which is CBD, rose, and then and that's it. So that's the main ingredient. So it actually smells like our rose essential oil, and it's amazing for the skin. It really helps like collagen production on your skin, and I apply it right after my toner as a beauty serum. And you can decide to put face lotion on top of that if it's like colder out, or you can just use the serum. But it's very repairing, and it's very hydrating, and it's just a beautiful product that I would recommend to anybody who wants to add it to their skincare regimen.
Awesome. And I just got the beauty boost. Was it this month? Yeah, this month I got it. So I used it a few times, and it's like so sacred. I don't want to. I only use like a little bit, but a little bit goes a long way.
Smells so good.
And these products just came out. I'll let Hisan talk about these too. These are awesome. These literally just launched on the 17th of April.
Yeah, so the CBD muscle rub tins are, a no-brainer. They're really great for men and women on the go, travel, and for athletes. Just stick it in their gym bag. And it's just an amazing product to have wherever you're going on the go. And then the CBD base oil is the CBD Young Living CBD plus MCT coconut oil, which is actually one of the few carrier oils that can pass the blood-brain barrier. So it's definitely very, very nourishing for the brain and supportive of brain health. And the base oil, I think they offer this so that we can also mix it with like the essential oil of our choice. So depending on what target issue, you want to address, you can use different oils in it. So really quickly, I would probably use sandalwood in it for oxygen support and brain health and just overall wellness. What oil comes to mind for you that you would add in there, Marlisa?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I would love to like play around with it just to see what what it does with what oil. I would have to, I'm one where like I go to my oil rack and I just kind of see like what resonates with me that day or like what I'm drawn to. So
yeah. You can even make like mini ones, right? Like you can make mini jars, mini droppers, and then make different ones and like kind of see what works.
And the tins are really good to share, share with family and friends who haven't used the CBD products. So I'm so excited that they came out.
Yeah, amazing. This was an amazing class.
Mm-hmm. And for anyone that's watching the replay, again, whoever sent you here can kind of help you with how to save the most money with Young Living. We have our loyalty program that we have, and it's really the best way because you get the most bang for your buck. It also allows you to restock your CBD every month at a really steep discount. And so whoever brought you or shared this video, you can kind of go to them and they'll explain everything to you. And then our whole program, and a lot of things are changing next month. So we can end it here, but I hope everyone enjoyed the class, and we love to empower you to take your health into your own hands, read labels, question ingredients and safety, believe in the power of the seed to seal. And there are resources if you want to learn more about CBD. I think I have them up here. So there is, these are 2 books that I recommend, and there's also a Facebook group called the CBD Collective. It's really informative if you're not in the group. But if there's any questions, we can end it here. And
yeah, thank you so much. This was so educational. I love this class and I would love to share it. Julie, you're always welcome to join Marlisa's team and always have access to our educational workshops. We have them like a lot. We have a lot of education. We have how many classes per month, Marlisa, on average?
On average?
I think about 5 at least, 5 really big ones every month.
But we also have our